Welcome back everybody to my channel. Hi, I'm Rizba the Blade, your personal mining guru, and today we're gonna show you some team mining with some extremely good Quantanium rock. Our friend here, Pistech, who is from Atmosphere.org, he found very big Quantanium rock on Adir moon. And this rock was, as you're gonna see here right now, over 85 tons in size, and it's going to be almost maximum percentage of Quantanium, which in our case here is 49.65%, and the biggest one it can be 49.99. But what is concerning other two materials, aluminum and inert, the best option would be to have more inert and less aluminum, and then Quantanium volume in the rock would be even bigger, right? That's the best combination. So let's mine this thing. So what we're gonna equip, normally first we're using only two mining lasers, and we're gonna use Helix and Hofstade, and on all their module slots we're gonna put surge modules. So we're gonna have 5 surges pushing this rock. And on the rock we're gonna put gadget wave shift. We could put also Bormax, what could be maybe even better because it has bigger instability drop and it has this 30% clustering, but I was not sure that it's gonna be enough resistance drop with all this, because you need to understand that Bormax gadget is increasing resistance by 10% and wave shift doesn't do that, right? So if you're not sure that maybe this is gonna be harder to break because it's so much Quantanium, always put in these situations wave shift, because he doesn't have that resistance increase. You see us here now normally putting these all mining modules surges right on the lasers, and you know, basically why I didn't want to put Bormax is to not, waste time to setting up all this set again if we didn't, manage maybe to push the bar up. But it was going pretty easily, right? It was going on like between 60 and 70% power. So that increase of 10% more resistance would not make such a big deal, for us to actually not break it if the Bormax was on the rock as a gadget and not wave shift. But here you're gonna see that I put wave shift and actually push it to 99%, which is very rare occasion, that you can actually do that, but you don't have to, right? If it's over 90 and you can activate, it's okay. But I'm gonna actually try, to play with it a little bit, and it's gonna go to 99. So it's very rare to see that. Now we're going back in the ship, and first thing what we're going to do is normally set up our ship in place, and I need to set it up on that like 45 degrees angle. Doesn't have to be accurate, so ship will not wobble, because we have this problem in this patch where ships are wobbling if they're too close to the ground, and we're gonna start to break it. So now in this, current patches, we have these problems with these all kinds of bugs that return to game, and one of them is, ship going up and down. Then lasers are, have double beams, which, these beams cannot do anything to the rock, but the sound is constantly on, and we have huge lags. So these lags can cause you to overheat, and this is also gonna happen here a little bit. But we're gonna manage to actually break the rock to have all the pieces. So even with this tiny overheating, it's gonna be actually all the pieces there, which is very big luck. Just remember this, right? This is what I'm always repeating. In these big breaks, it's always huge difference between 1% increase or decrease of your power on your mouse wheel, right? So sometimes, like, you have 50%, it's gonna be not enough to push in the green, and already 51 is gonna be too much. And this is what I did here. You see, I increased it for 2%, maybe 3, and I already messed it up, right? But it was like a small delay, like a lag, which were not releasing, you know, in that same moment, because it's like a pattern which you can like learn, right? When you're mining, when it's gonna be releasing, you know, this is like in seconds, right? To push up or lower it down, right? How the bar is jumping. But if the lags intervenes in all that, then the pattern is not the same anymore, right? So it messes you up. But fortunately, we didn't lose actually any piece, so it's all still there. So that was a good thing. But now you see this piece here, it's 20 tones with 72%, this bottom one, which is barely visible when I'm pointing towards him. So I have one with 17, one with 19. That 19 piece, we're gonna have missing one piece, and we're not gonna overheat, and I'm gonna also put gadget on it, just to not that happen, and the game, even with all that, just screw us up. So now what you see me doing, I'm gonna set up again for this second brakes setup for my ship. And usually I'm not having here a focus tree on Hofstede, right? But we're gonna put one now just to be more safe, because Hofstede has resistance drop same as Helix. So it's very powerful laser. Basically Hofstede is a more powerful laser than Impact. People think that Impact is more powerful because he has 3 mining slots, right, for mining modules, right? But the difference between Impact and Hofstede in resistance is 40%. This is huge. So for Impact to reach that, you need to put 3 surges on Impact to overcome just a little bit more force on Impact than on Hostfed, right? And Hostfed has bigger green zone, right? Only bad part for Hofstede is that it has 10% instability increase and Impact has 10% decrease, right? So it's 20% like difference, right? So this is only down part on the Hosted. But when we're mining with 2 lasers, then we're reducing instability by half, right? So that doesn't matter. So then the stats of lasers for instability doesn't matter anymore. And plus, like you see here, I'm already putting wave shift, and I'm gonna put it only on this piece, right? To even more reduce instability, because it's the biggest piece, almost 20 ton with over 70% Quantanium. We're back in the ship now, we're all ready, and now we're gonna break first that biggest piece, right? So this is that under that upper piece, right? And you can see gadget blinking, tiny green light on the right. So this is that piece, and you see it's like 20 tons almost with 72%. So 3/4 of the rock, it's only Quantanium, right? So it's like over 25 ACU of Quantanium in this rock. And also you're gonna see now this bug where our ship is gonna keep rising up, and you know, this is very old bug which was, you know, completely removed. It was polished and ships were working perfectly, but unfortunately this disease is back in the game, and now you can see it how it's going up. And this can cause you overheat, you know, other pieces which you already mined twice, and you just need to collect them. So it's a very bad thing in the game. But you see now we're pushing, and just remember guys, if you're new to the game, always just one person, you have 2 lasers, right? Operating needs to play with the power, not both. One is pushing full power and just other one is reducing and increasing by the need, right? Now watch very closely how the middle biggest piece is gonna disappear. You see, it just poof and it's gone. That's not supposed to happen, because on that piece was the now lowest possible instability that it can be, because of gadget, because of lasers, you know, and it's just terrible when something like that happens, right? I'm gonna show it one more time slowly. First clue when this starts to happen is when the break is done. You see this piece like floating away. When you see that, you're gonna need to understand you're gonna lose some piece from that part. And here it was, right? So it's gonna like, piece is gonna start floating, it's gonna be like a delay in the break, and you're gonna hear like sound like shh, and then it's done. You're gonna definitely lose peace. And when this happens, usually you're losing your biggest piece in that part and the best percentage probably in Quantanium. So we probably lose like 10 ACU in that piece. And 10 ACU in Quantanium, if you're selling it in trading centers right in the cities like, you know, Arcorp or, you know, it's around 200k what you can get for that piece, right? So that's not something throwing away. And this is exactly why we trying to, you know, set everything correctly and to have the lowest instabilities to actually take this, and then, you know, the game screw you up, right? You're not gonna take it. And also this is like very good opportunity for me to, you know, talk a little bit about this duping problem, right? So now we finally have in the game possibility to actually, you know, sell Quantanium to players, and because of this duping problem, now this is all ruined because people are duping Quantanium Polaris bits, so nobody doesn't need any more Quantanium because you can just dupe the bit which you can hold in your hand. And now we, you know, cannot have, you know, better selling, because when you sell to players, we're selling it for double price, for triple price, for 5 times bigger price, right? On the beginning we were selling, and now, you know, nobody's gonna buy that anymore because everybody's just duping Polaris bits. And this was like first, you know, glimpse of real trading for ore in the game, and it was instantly ruined by the duping. And I just found out, you know, when I was doing this video that they fixed it actually like 1 day ago. So that's great, but, you know, damage is already done. So now, you know, we cannot earn more money than we could. Maybe somebody gonna still buy it, somebody new who still wants, you know, to create vehicle of Polaris. But now, you know, on that market you have a lots of, you know, Polaris continue bits which they are selling for very small amount of money, right? So to sell Quantanium is not so easy anymore. But it is what it is, you know, we cannot change it. But to turn it back to our mining, as you see here, we are breaking always with 2 lasers these pieces. I could easily break it with 1 laser, right? But the whole point to put in 2 lasers, or if you have even more people on your ship, to put 3 lasers on one piece is to drastically reduce instability. That's the key of successful and, if you want to say, 100% efficient mining, right? Not because it's safer, but because you're getting more ore, so ore is not disappearing because of big instability. And you can see it now, it's in green, the number of instability is very low, it's on 60. So this is how you're supposed to mine, right? But this is easy if you have few people in the mall. But when you're mining solo in the mall or in the prospector, you need to, you know, do different things to reduce that. Then the stats of lasers matter a lot because you're using just 1 laser, right? Like also, like for example, on this piece what we're gonna mine right now, it's like over 70 something percent, 74% Quantanium inside, right? So this is a great piece, which is only like, it's 13 tons, so that's possible to break with Helix alone, even with Hofstede, right? If you're using, like if I was using Surge with Hofstede, I could break this with Hofstede alone, right? Even if it's so much. But the instability would be double or even more than that, right? So because of that, you need to use maybe like Lifeline as a secondary module, or you need to put gadgets on that secondary piece to reduce it, right? And this is how you can save uh, more Quantanium to extract it. But like always, it can always game remove your ore. So no matter what you do, if you just break everything by the book, you know, everything in green zone, if the game doesn't work properly in that time, you're gonna still lose Quantanium. You just cannot fight that. So sometimes this is gonna be, you know, fruitful, efficient mining, and sometimes even with all efforts, it will not be. And also I can use here opportunity, you know, to invite you guys to our Discord if you wanna learn to mine. I'm doing like, you know, mining courses every day with like 2, 3, 5 people, new people who wanna learn. And also in next patch we're gonna have a mining event where we're gonna also be mining like low tier materials, and probably rewards as you know, for game contracts are gonna be huge like last time that we did that. So we can mine together, you know, we can help each other out, and I'm gonna probably be breaking, you know, also bigger rocks for other people, so they can get, you know, faster their amount of ore what they need if they cannot break. So we're gonna, you know, have mutual help there. So if somebody really wants to join for this and you want to learn everything about the mining, Discord link is gonna be in description below the video, so you can just, you know, click there and join, and we can go all to mine. So now we are breaking, I think, last piece here, and after that we're gonna do extraction, right, collecting of Quantanium. So all these now breakings are gonna be extremely good. So what that means, we're gonna extract huge amount of Quantanium from this rock. Uh, and I'm gonna also show you now. I already explained that in my last video, you know, how to calculate how much Quantanium you're gonna get from rock when the rock is still one whole thing, right? And if you see here, this is the screenshot of what our rock was in the beginning, right? So the mass was 85 tons, and you see where it says composition, it's 225.74 ACU. So this is all materials together, and we have 49.65 Quantanium rough. So it's even easier way in calculator to calculate how much, you know, in ACU Quant it's possible to get maximum. And what you just need to do is just put 49.65% and just put number next to that, 225.74 ACU, right? And you're gonna get exactly in ACU how much maximum you can get out in Quantanium. So if you don't wanna, like, you know, use sites like Reveal calculator, I'm using usually always that. But if you just have, you know, normal home calculator, you can do it like that, or on your cell phone. That's actually the fastest way to do it and the easiest, right? So this is maximum, right? 112, but we're not gonna pull out so much out. And you need to keep in mind that we at least lose 10 ACU because of that first piece, which because of game blow up and take out our ore, right? So it's around 10. And normally to take the most ore out from this broken rock, for you guys who are new in the game, you always need to first scan each piece, and after you scan all of them, you start collecting the highest possible pieces, which normally in our case is 100% pure pieces of Quantanium. That's the only right way and the only logical way to do it, because you cannot throw away the ore which is connected to Quantanium, what you don't want. You know, you cannot filter it out. So only thing what you can filter is inert materials, and this is what mining laser heads are doing automatically, you know, 30-40%, depends which one you have. And you can also a little bit increase that with filtering modules, but right now this is what I'm doing on my left laser. This is Arbor laser. I have 2 filter modules, so I'm responsible to collecting pieces which has Quant and inert materials, right? And the other person on other laser is collecting what doesn't have inert materials. And like that we can collect, you know, more pure Quantanium. So now I'm gonna show you how much that exactly was, and you can see here now in the right corner down, we collect 82.74 ACU. So if you put on that number 10 that we lost, that would be like around 93, right? And it was still on the floor around 10 12 SEU. I was, calculating pieces before I take off to see how much it's still down, right? So this is like 93 and that's like 105. So we basically lost just randomly only like 5 SEU around that number, which is very, very small. So that was extremely efficient mining, but unfortunately, it's supposed to be like full ship of Quant if that first piece didn't, blow up on its own, it's because of game, we didn't overheat, instability was extremely low, and if that vibration starts to happen, then you can hear the sound, you're gonna always lose the piece. And what I'm doing here again, I'm taking again half of my ore pods with full ore of Quantanium to the freight elevator, half of them. So I'm gonna make 2 tickets, so it's gonna be much faster done, because like I said also before video, we're selling that to players, so it can be ready faster like that, right? This is how you can do it now. I mean, in the past we didn't have that possibility, now we can. So now if you lower down ore pods and you lower down the ship, um, we can have, creating 2 tickets with half amount, right? So it's gonna be in time 1 times faster done in Refinery. That's the whole point of doing it like that, right? So this is how you can help yourself, even if you're not selling to players, to have your tickets be faster done. And now we are normally in Refinery. We're gonna see what we have first in checkmate. So what we lower with freight elevator around that half, and you see it's like 39 rough quantity, right? Our ore is gonna be 34, so it's only 6 hours what I need to right now wait. Usually it would be double, right, than that. And now we have in our mall, you see, now I have again this glitch where you have multiple malls in the list. I don't know why that is happening. I have 2, not 3, but I found which one was full. So it was this one, and this is a little bit more in these half ore pods. And normally I was selecting Ferro and Exchange to be faster, and it's a little bit more, like it's not 6, it's 7 hours, right? But this is pretty fast, so it can be done pretty fast to sell, right? And now you can see these 2 last tickets, this is how much we get. So this is like over 70 71 ACU of pure Quantanium, right? So we were having around 83, so we lost 9 12, right, because of refinement. This is it, guys, for this video. I hope that you learned something from this, and that you like the videos that I'm making for mining, because this is what I do, this is what I like to do the most, and have the biggest experience in this. And next video, what I'm going to do, I think it's gonna be something different. It's gonna be about these Ferro data centers, how to get these door cards for going to Stormbreaker sites for spawning a worm, because it's actually a very easy way how to get in that room, and it's not with glitching through the doors, it's something else. But more about that in the next video. So guys, thank you everybody who is supporting me, and if you really like this whole information and you can learn from this, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more content. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.